police in India are being accused of using unauthorised and excessive force against protesters at New Delhi's Jamia University around 2 weeks ago. Independent investigations found that officers indiscriminately beat demonstrators, destroyed public property and arrested people unlawfully. Police are also being accused of intimidation and firing on protesters in Uttar Pradesh, where 18 people were killed. The demonstrations are against a new citizenship law that's been labelled as anti-Muslim. Let's cross over to Elizabeth Puranam, who joins us now from the Indian capital with the very latest on that investigation. Elizabeth.
Hi, so we are here at Jamia Millia Islamia University, which has been the centre of protests for the last 2 weeks. And it's actually protests that took place here, or rather the police response to protests which took place here on December 13th and December 15th, soon after the citizenship law was passed, that led to protests at universities around the country, not just against the law, but the police response to the protests. And we're joined now by Nitika Khaitan. She was part of the team, the fact-finding team that looked into the police response at the university's protests. Nitika, thank you very much for being with us. So tell us, I know your investigation says that your report found a picture, what you call, of police terror at Jamia. Who did you speak to and what did you find?
We spoke to several students on campus who were eyewitnesses to various accounts that had started happening from the 13th of December onwards. We visited hospitals, we spoke to staff at hospitals, injured students and their families there, and we also spoke to several local residents in the area. And when it comes to our findings, I think 3 or 4 things to emphasize. First, the unauthorized entry of police into campus didn't just happen on Sunday, the 15th, but in fact also on the 13th of December, because on the 13th of December, the police had again disallowed the students from conducting a protest march, again used indiscriminate lathi charge and tear gas shelling all the way back to campus, and even on Friday had entered campus without permission, caused damage to lots of vehicles parked inside that are completely unrelated to the protest, and lathi charged students there. When it comes to the events of Sunday itself, the police version is that they needed to use a certain amount of violence to quell a violent mob. However, when you look at the nature of injuries that were inflicted on the students, we found multiple students who suffered grave injuries to their head. And looking at the nature of injuries, it seemed that the violence used by the police was not simply violence that can be justified when it comes to a riot control measure. Second, when it comes to the entry of police onto campus, when we visited Jamia the following day, we found blood on the steps of the mosque, we found broken locks and entries, CCTV cameras that had been broken, accounts that the police was trying to create an atmosphere of terror and panic on the campus. And third, we found that this atmosphere of terror carried on even after campus when it came to hospitals and jails, because students were detained and denied medical help for hours.
And I know that you're calling for police to investigate, for a commission of inquiry, but how likely do you think that is, given the sorts of things we're hearing from the government, which is completely defending police actions?
The High Court and the Supreme Court both had the chance to intervene and could have taken up these actions suo motu as well, given the news media reports that came out. Unfortunately, neither court has done so. The chance of it therefore happening is anyone's guess. But yeah, PUDI reiterates its demand that a commission of inquiry has to be set up, an FIR registered against the police for its actions, as well as the police force in these stations need to be sensitized, because while the violence that happened to students on campus happened amidst a barrage of communal abuses, and it is also located in a longer history of police action in this area, and therefore these police officers need to face disciplinary action, be shifted out of these stations, and also need to be sensitized to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Nitika, thank you very much. So that was Nitika Khaitan, part of the fact-finding team, and we've also had these teams investigate not just what happened at universities, but as you mentioned, violence in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So again, the police is very much, and the government, under pressure now over what's been happening in these protests.
Indeed, we'll continue to follow events with you through the day. Elizabeth Puranam there, our reporter in New Delhi.